Let me be unequivocally clear from the very start, the financial event that was once relegated to the fringes of alternative finance, dismissed by mainstream economists, and clung to as an article of faith by millions of holders worldwide, is no longer a future prophecy but a present-day operational reality. Tier 4B exchanges have been confirmed, and this confirmation is not emanating from the usual echo chambers of social media speculation, but from a confluence of verified private intelligence channels, including established banking attorneys, private wealth managers, and the first wave of recipients who have successfully navigated the initial authentication protocols. The reason you are feeling a seismic shift in the energy surrounding the Iraqi dinar and Vietnamese dong is because the bedrock of their perceived value has been fundamentally and permanently altered, moving from a state of hopeful potential into a phase of concrete, actionable financial transaction. The numbers that are now circulating are not the product of a hype artist's imagination. They are the actual reported exchange rates from within these exclusive, shielded financial systems designed specifically for this tier of currency holders, with the Vietnamese dong achieving a staggering valuation north of 40 cents United States dollars and the Iraqi dinar eclipsing the once unthinkable $3.50 threshold. To fully grasp the monumental significance of this, we must first dismantle the outdated paradigm of the public international forex market, which for years has shown these currencies at their artificially suppressed program-rated values. These new record-shattering rates are not yet visible on your standard forex trading platforms like XE or OND because they exist within a separate, sovereign-level financial ecosystem created to facilitate the global currency reset without triggering immediate and uncontrollable global market volatility. This is the deliberate, controlled, and secure method by which this historic transition is being executed, prioritizing stability and order over public fanfare. The confirmation of Tier 4B is the crucial key that has unlocked this process, identifying a specific group of currency holders, often those with significant holdings or who've been pre-vetted through financial background checks, to be the first to exchange at these new revalued rates, effectively acting as the initial pressure release valve before the system is open to broader tiers and eventually the general public. The mechanism for your entry into this process is the email notification you may have heard about. These are not phishing attempts or spam, but legitimate, cryptographically secured digital communications originating from the Redemption Center networks containing your unique, non-transferable access credentials and detailed step-by-step instructions for the procedures that follow. Upon receiving and verifying this communication, your next step is the scheduling of a confidential appointment at a designated, secure private location, which could be a specific branch of a major bank operating in a private capacity, a dedicated legal office, or a standalone financial redemption center, all of which have been prepped and staffed to handle these high-value, sensitive transactions with the utmost discretion and security. The appointment itself is a multi-layered process beginning with a stringent, in-person verification of your identity and your currency notes to ensure their authenticity and to confirm you are the rightful account holder listed in the system, a necessary security measure to prevent fraud and money laundering at this monumental scale. Once your identity and assets are confirmed, you will be seated with a certified financial advisor or a designated banking official who will present you with the official binding exchange rate for your specific currency holdings on that specific day, which based on all current confirmations will be in the aforementioned record high ranges. And it is at this precise moment that the theoretical becomes tangible as you are presented with the life-altering financial options now available to you. This is the moment of sovereign financial decision making where you transition from being a holder of a potential asset to being a possessor of liquid global capital, and the entire process from the initial email to the final signature is protected by layers of non-disclosure agreements and legal protocols to maintain the integrity of the staggered global rollout. This is not a test run, this is the live, active, and irreversible commencement of the global currency reset, and your patience and foresight have positioned you at the very forefront of this new financial dawn. Now that we have established the undeniable reality of these activations and the breathtaking financial potential they represent, it is absolutely critical to pivot from the euphoria of confirmation to the sober, practical necessities of what you must do next, because this window of opportunity, while open, is also incredibly fragile and fraught with risk that can irrevocably derail your successful transition if they are not navigated with precision and calm. The first and most paramount rule you must sear into your consciousness is the absolute, non-negotiable imperative of silence. You must not, under any circumstances, publicly broadcast your receipt of an email, your appointment time, your location, or most importantly, the specific financial details of your exchange once it is completed. The architecture of this entire rollout is predicated on a controlled, staggered release of liquidity into the global system, and a sudden, mass public announcement of successful exchanges would create a tsunami of uncontrollable demand panic and scrutiny from mainstream media and financial regulators that could force a temporary suspension of the entire process, thereby harming every other holder waiting in the queue. Your discretion is not merely a suggestion, it is your civic and financial duty to the entire community to ensure this reset proceeds smoothly for everyone involved. The second immediate action item, once you have your confirmation and appointment, is to engage in zero financial theatrics. Do not quit your job in a dramatic fashion. Do not go on a lavish public spending spree on credit. And do not make any large attention-grabbing purchases in the days leading up to your appointment, as such behavior can raise red flags with financial surveillance systems and attract the very kind of scrutiny that the private redemption centers are designed to avoid. Your goal is to be a ghost in the machine, moving with quiet, deliberate purpose towards your financial future without leaving a traceable digital or social footprint for others to follow until the process is secure for the next tier. Once you are inside the appointment and your identity and currency have been authenticated, you will be presented with a suite of financial options that will require your clear-headed focus. And this is where the guidance of the on-site financial advisor becomes invaluable, as they will walk you through the foundational decisions regarding asset allocation, liquidity management, and wealth preservation strategies tailored to your new status. You will be deciding on the initial structuring of your new wealth, which typically involves the establishment of a private, sovereign-level banking account, often referred to as a Zime account or its equivalent, designed to hold these substantial funds alongside the consideration of various asset classes like precious metals, managed private equity funds, and charitable foundation structures that can provide both legacy planning and tax efficiency. This is not a simple cash withdrawal, it is the birth of your private global treasury, and the decisions made in that room will echo for generations, which is why the advisors are present to guide you away from common, catastrophic pitfalls such as the immediate, full repatriation of all funds into a single domestic bank account. An action that would almost certainly trigger mandatory bank reporting protocols and potentially freeze your assets under suspicion. The entire process is designed to be educational and empowering, transforming you from a passive holder into an active, sophisticated steward of capital, and it is conducted with the solemnity and gravity that such a life-altering event warrants. The advisors will emphasize the long-term vision over short-term gratification, encouraging a mindset of generational wealth creation and philanthropic impact rather than impulsive consumption, ensuring that this financial shift translates into sustainable positive change for you, your family, and the causes you care about. Remember, the individuals you are dealing with at these centers are high-level, vetted professionals operating under strict protocols, and their primary function is to facilitate a successful and secure transition for you while safeguarding the integrity of the broader global financial system that is being gently recalibrated around this new currency valuation reality. Your compliance with their guidance is not just about your personal success, it is about contributing to the stability of the entire reset process, allowing it to unfold as designed for the millions of other individuals who are relying on the system to hold firm as it expands to include them. This is your moment to demonstrate not just patience, profound wisdom. As we bring this urgent update to a close, we must transition from the immediate, life-altering procedures of the redemption appointment to the profound and lasting responsibility that comes with the successful completion of this exchange, because the moment you walk out of that secure facility as a person of significant financial capacity, your entire relationship with the world, your purpose, and your personal security will have been permanently transformed, and how you manage that first week, that first month, and that first year will determine whether this blessing becomes a sustained legacy or a cautionary tale. The initial and most dangerous threat you will face will not be from institutions or governments, but from the well-meaning but often financially uninformed friends and family members who will notice a shift in your energy, your availability, or your lifestyle. And this is where you must have a pre-prepared, psychologically sound strategy for maintaining your privacy without breeding suspicion or damaging relationships. You must become a master of gentle deflection and misdirection, having calm, plausible explanations for any changes you cannot conceal, such as stating you received a long-term consulting contract, an unexpected inheritance from a distant relative, or a successful outcome from a private investment you made years ago. Anything that provides a boring, non-specific cover story that satisfies casual inquiry without revealing the true, monumental nature of your financial shift. The objective is to make your transition appear as a modest, comfortable improvement rather than a world-shattering event, because the moment you are perceived as the rich relative or the lottery winner, friend, you will become a magnet for every sob story, business scheme, and financial plea imaginable, potentially draining your resources and poisoning your most cherished relationships under a cloud of entitlement and resentment. This protective secrecy is your first and most important act of stewardship for your new wealth, and it must be maintained for a significant period, likely 1 to 2 years, while you undergo a quiet, deliberate process of personal and financial education, working closely with the trusted advisors connected to your new private banking structure to slowly, intelligently, and anonymously deploy your capital into a diversified, resilient global portfolio. This is not the time for flashy investments in sports teams or luxury super yachts. It is the time for foundational, wealth-preserving assets in stable sectors, for the quiet establishment of charitable trusts to channel your philanthropic impulses in a structured, tax-efficient manner, and for the careful legal structuring of your assets to protect them for future generations. Your entire mindset must evolve from that of a consumer to that of a custodian, understanding that this money is not just for you, but is a tool for creating lasting stability, opportunity, and positive impact long after you are gone, a resource that can fund medical research, build schools, support clean water initiatives, and empower entrepreneurs in developing nations, fulfilling the deeper promise of the global currency reset, which was always about more than individual enrichment, but about the healing and empowerment of nations and their people. You are now, whether you sought it or not, a potential force for profound good in a world that desperately needs it. And with that power comes an immense responsibility to act with wisdom, integrity, and compassion. The long-awaited global financial shift has placed you in a position of incredible privilege and even more incredible duty. And the true measure of your success will not be the balance in your ZM account, but the positive, tangible change you orchestrate in the lives of others through your disciplined, thoughtful, and generous actions.